June 30th, 2026. Dear Annoyed Me. Have you ever lived with others? Maybe a husband, wife, child, roommate. Maybe you live with your parents or a significant other. Do you have rules, chores, responsibilities, things that just need to be taken care of? How are those things divided up? Who makes the rules, decides the chores, takes care of the necessary responsibilities? I don't know how things work at your house, but at my house, it feels like all that responsibility seems to fall on me. I am the center of our household, but not the center of everyone's world. It's my job to make sure that the groceries are stocked and that we have all the supplies that we need. It's my job to make sure that the bills are paid, that appointments are made, that we attend said appointments, that we make ends meet. It's my job to make sure the dishes are clean, the dishwasher is loaded, emptied. It's my job to make sure the trash gets taken down. It's just my responsibility. I have a husband, and nothing makes me feel more alone than feeling like I have to make all those decisions by myself. Today, we woke up and we had plans to go to breakfast, and I had to make sure he woke up and got up and got dressed. And then I got up and got dressed, and I came out to the living room, and he was sitting on the couch. So I fed the dogs, and then took the dogs out for a walk, and I unloaded the dishwasher, and I loaded back up the dishwasher, and he was still sitting there on the couch. And it seems like that's a trend. And it's not an unspoken thing. I've talked about it. I've said, hey, this really bothers me. I need you to be more active. But in his mind, unless I say, hey, this needs to be done, it just doesn't. And then I start to think, how many other things in life are like that, where I take on this responsibility of making sure everything is taken care of? What's for dinner? That falls on me. Well, because you're the picky one. No, because I'm the only one who does the grocery shopping and plans for meals. I'm the only one who even thinks about those things. Our fridge was going out, and despite the fact that he didn't want to buy another fridge, he didn't make any effort to find someone to fix this one. It always seems like these simplest situations make me feel the most alone. I feel the most alone when I know that I'm supposed to have people there for me. I've been to a hospital or two in my lifetime, and it's not so much scary to be in the hospital. No one likes it. Nobody enjoys it. But I'm not scared when I'm there. I just recognize that if anything happened, nobody would know. If I disappeared, the only reason why people would notice would be because somebody's not there taking care of all the little things that don't have to be taken care of by them. And so I sit with these feelings because recently I've decided that rather than talk about my feelings, I will just keep them to myself. I will write them down. I will tell you about them. But other than that, I'll keep them to myself. Almost like it's our little secret. Not much of a secret. My husband has access to my podcast. He may hear it. When he has listened to it in the past, he's made statements that He is surprised to hear some of the things that I'm describing things. He has never heard them explained the way that I explain them when I'm talking to you all. Which to me seems crazy because I don't change up the way that I say them. I don't change up how I explain it. At least I don't feel like I do. But something's different. I guess when you're writing in a journal, you feel more free to use the words that you wish you could say out loud because you don't have to apologize to your journal. You don't have to tiptoe around your journal. You get to just be brutally honest. And for me, being brutally honest means word vomiting all the thoughts in my head. So this morning, after I did all those things, I came to my office, I sat at my desk, I opened up my journal, and I just wrote. I don't prep my podcast. My podcasts are truly journals for me. I wake up with the feeling, it stays with me all day long, I write about it, I tell you guys about it. If you were to look at my notebook, it literally says, June 30th, 2026, Dear Annoyed Me. That was written at 10 something this morning. Now that it's 10:05 this evening, or tonight, do I still feel annoyed? Not as much as I did this morning. But there's a hint of something. There's that lingering feeling that says, hey, I'm doing a lot about myself. We are supposed to be doing something together as a family. And I'm really excited about it. And our kid's really excited about it. And my husband seems excited about it. But he shows his excitement in a very different way than most. When I get excited, I get kind of giddy, and you see it on my face. You see the joy. You see me bouncing around and talking about it because I'm excited. Jason doesn't experience joy that way. He will tell you that he's excited, and then that's where it stops. For the longest time, that was hard for me to accept because it just made it seem really fake. It made it seem uninteresting to him. And now it's just not a fight. It's just accepting that that's what it is. It's accepting that if he wants to be a part of it, he'll do what he wants to do to be a part of it. And if not, the show will go on. Don't get me wrong, this isn't a let me talk bad about my husband episode. I recognize that my feelings are my feelings. They get to be whatever I allow them to be. They get to be seen and heard how much I want them to be seen and heard. This morning, I chose to keep it inside. I went to breakfast, had a great breakfast, got my Starbucks. I am a Starbucks junkie. Came home, walked my dogs, enjoyed the outdoors. I noticed when I can get myself to go outside and really immerse myself in being outside, I feel better. The problem is getting myself to the point where I can get myself outside. It's so much easier to let my mood take over and lay on my couch and rock. Something about the fresh air. Not sure what it is or why it is. It just changes things. I've heard people say that many times, and I'm always skeptical. Because realistically speaking, it's just being in the sun. And Out here, it's been extremely hot. We're under a heat advisory. But today wasn't so bad. I walked my dogs around the yard several times and they seemed to enjoy it. They were both super happy and playful. And I feel like the more that they were super happy and playful, the more that I kind of relaxed. Threw my headphones in, listened to some music, jammed out and danced, and it just felt good to let it go. That doesn't always mean that my feelings disappear as quickly as they show up. Sometimes it is really trying to self-soothe. I'm not the best self-soother in the world. I spiral and then I put on my very sad music and then I just feel the feelings. It started off that way. We were all in the car together. We all had our headphones in. I was started off with the random song and it started off slow. And then I let the next song just play. It was kind of random. And it got more upbeat and more upbeat and more upbeat. And finally I was just kind of bouncing around and singing along to it to myself. And things just started to change. I recognize that music is a big thing for me. It's a huge indication of where I am emotionally. I will play certain songs when I'm sad. I will play certain songs when I'm angry. I will play certain songs when I'm frustrated. Today, my songs started off with being upset with your significant other. And then they got lighter, just about being in love and being happy with your partner. Sometimes I listen to those songs and it stops me in my tracks. Do I relate to those songs? Do I feel what they feel? Or am I wishing that I felt what they felt? It's so tricky because I want to believe that I know what love is. And I want to believe that I know what it is to be happy. But I find myself questioning that more and more. How do I know my feelings are true? Yes, I've been told that my feelings are valid. And yes, I've been told that I have the right to feel what I feel. But it's different feeling those feelings. I tell people that I love them, but what does love look like? Sometimes I think that I'm happy, but am I really happy? Can I be really happy? Is it me that's happy or is it my pills that make me happy? What would happen if I didn't take my meds today? Would I just automatically spiral? If my meds are supposed to help me, why do I still get in depressive states? These questions tumble around in my head, tumble around in my heart far more often than I would like them to. I'd like to believe that I'm good enough the way that I am. But I know that's not true. And I think that's one of the things that bothers me the most. That I am not normal. I'm not healthy. Or at least those are the things I tell myself. Normal isn't taking medication to balance out the things in your head. It isn't having to go to therapy all the time. It isn't spiraling. It isn't sitting in dark rooms. It isn't self-harm. And yet, so many of those things are me. Now, I recognize that my self-harm tends to look different than most. When I get into a place of not feeling wanted, not feeling loved, which is generally the triggers for me, I seek out things to make me feel like I am seen and loved. For me, that is in flirting with someone new. It's in taking on new jobs, interviewing for jobs. I love the rush I get when a job calls me back and says, hey, I'd like to interview you. I get even more excited when they interview me and they offer me the position. I'm wanted. Out of all the people that they interviewed, they chose me. That's a great feeling. It's almost like I overcompensate for wanting to be chosen in a relationship by being chosen at a job. And then because I go to these interviews and because I'm chosen for these jobs, I accept the positions and then I end up with 3 or 4 jobs. And then I have no time for me and no time to sleep and no time to rest. But I feel wanted in the most superficial of ways. When I was younger, I sought out attention in different ways. I've never been big on drugs or smoking or things of that nature, but the company of a male companion always made me feel like I was wanted. I recognized what I was wanted for. I recognized that I was only wanted for that period of time, and that was enough for me because at least I felt wanted. That seems to be a big theme in my life. Wanting to be wanted, wanting to be loved. And it's not just the art of wanting to be wanted and loved, it's feeling like I'm wanted and loved. It's feeling seen. It's knowing that I was annoyed today and my husband not noticing. It's knowing when I need help and somebody noticing. Yes, in theory, we should not expect people to read our minds or to guess our feelings. I know that. I agree with that to some extent. I also know that when I care about somebody, I care truly, deeply about somebody, I know when something's wrong. I can see it in their face. I can hear it in their voice. Their mannerisms change. The things that they do are different. I love others like I want them to love me, and that's not how that works. That's never how that's going to work. Even worse, that I can love them the way that I want them to love me, but I don't love myself that. It's crazy that I can give so much to others, put myself out there, take on all the responsibilities of the things that I need to take care of to get things done, except for the one important thing, which is myself. I can get annoyed at the fact that someone didn't do the dishes, but I don't get annoyed with the fact that I didn't take care of me. I get so caught up in the what about isms because it's easier than to think that nobody sees me. If you really cared, you'd see me. If you really loved me, you would help. I wouldn't have to ask. I wouldn't have to make a show of it. You would just see me. And so that's what my journal entry today is about. Just not being seen. And then not being seen makes me annoyed. I want people to know that I exist. I want to feel like it matters. I want to know that I'm loved truly and deeply. I want to be wanted. I want to be desired. I don't know how to convey that in a way that translates to my husband because he feels like he presents those things to me. And recently, I was told that I don't give him enough credit for those things that he does for me. And it hurt. It didn't come from him, it came from somebody else. But it hurt because all I could think about was how unnoticed I am. All the things that I do that seem to be unaccounted for. So, how do I get out of that? How do I shift that mindset? For me, it's a day-to-day thing I have to work on. It looked like today going outside and listening to my music. It looked like dancing around the house, singing my little heart out. It looked like asking for a drink that I wanted. It looked like taking care of the things that I know mean something to me. This point, but I need to be on that list. I need to be something that matters to me. I want to thank you guys because if it wasn't for this, I'm not sure how I would show myself that I matter. This is my way of seeing myself. It sounds silly. I'm writing in a journal. Something I've done since I was a little girl. I still have the journal that I wrote in when I was a little girl. Because I know that those words are more than just words. It's my heart. It's my thoughts. Those are the things that can't just be erased and made to go away. I am not something that could be erased and just thrown away. But I have to believe that myself. I have to treat myself like that prize. And it's a struggle. It's something that I have to learn to do on a day-to-day basis. I have to remind myself that if I don't love me, I can't really expect somebody else to. That's a hard thought to wrestle with, especially when I feel like I'm not worth loving. I think I deserve it, but I don't think I'm worth it. And so, as I write these journals, and as I process these thoughts and process these emotions and my actions, I'm hoping to come to a point where I do just love me. I'm hoping to look back on these journal entries and say, wow, I've grown. I'm hoping that you can look back on these journal experiences and say, well, you've grown. I want you to feel seen. I want you to feel heard. That little person inside of you matters. I see them and I hear them. They will always matter to me. So, my piece of pie today, I got out of bed, I took a shower, I washed my hair, I went to breakfast, even when I was annoyed. I talked and interacted with my family, even when I was annoyed. I put my headphones in my ear, jammed out to music, did some self-care for me. I went outside and enjoyed my dogs. I spent time sitting and talking with my kiddo. I did things for me. Such a huge bite of that pie today. That's what days look like. Sometimes the bites, they're small. But sometimes it just tastes so good that you just take off more. You eat more. Today I ate more. Today I said, this feels good. I'm going to do it. And I did. So just remember, today is another page in the story. It doesn't have to be perfect. It just has to be written. And before you close your journal tonight, ask yourself, what was your bite of pie today? Until tomorrow, love you loud.